Have you ever noticed how a calm mind can really set the stage for a good night's sleep? That's the idea behind our new podcast, Good Sleep. Greg, our host from Optimal Relationships Daily, is here to help ease you into a peaceful night's rest with some positive affirmations. And these affirmations aren't just comforting, they can help ease anxiety and nurture positive thoughts, setting you up for true good sleep. So, press play on Good Sleep tonight because a good tomorrow starts with a good night's sleep. Just search for Good Sleep in your podcast app and be sure to pick the one from Optimal Living Daily. This is Optimal Health Daily, Nutrition Triggers and Tips, Part 2 by Nia Shanks of niashanks.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I simply read to you from the best health and fitness blogs for free. I cover fitness, nutrition, stress management, weight management, and lots more. This is kind of like an audiobook, but from a bunch of different authors, and always with permission from the sites, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. Now, today's post is part 2 from yesterday. So, if you're new here or are skipping around, I'd recommend listening to yesterday's episode first. But if you're all caught up, let's jump right in and hear part 2 and continue optimizing your life. Nutrition Triggers and Tips, Part 2 by Nia Shanks of niashanks.com. Eat your protein. As mentioned earlier, protein is very effective at increasing satiety. I have my clients track their protein intake to get an idea of how much they consume. It's common for the clients I work with to average about 40 grams or so a day, if even that. Once they increase their protein intake to at least 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, I actually prefer closer to 1 gram per pound of body weight, they experience greater satiety. This is also useful for people such as myself that experience greater hunger in the evening. As long as I eat a good amount of protein during the day, then I'm not ravenous at night. An easy way to make sure you eat enough protein is to center your meals on good protein sources such as free-range eggs and poultry, grass-fed meats, and wild-caught fish. If you're unsure of your average protein intake, track it for a week and see where you stand. If you're not getting 1 gram per pound of body weight, start doing so and see what happens. Fruitgate. I made a comment on Facebook the other day, and I knew that it would cause some commotion. Basically, I said, I eat 2 to 3 pieces of fruit a day, and asked when people would stop condemning fruit. This statement caused some back and forth bantering, and some people ended up unfriending me as a result. I'm aware that fructose has a very bad reputation at the moment, and I won't argue that people should stop consuming high fructose corn syrup that's found via products such as fruit juice, sodas, and processed food items. But when it comes to the average person who consumes a lot of processed foods, fast food, and practically no vegetables or fruit, no one is going to convince me that encouraging someone to eat a piece of fruit instead of a Pop-Tart is going to cause them to gain body fat. Most people just need to start eliminating items such as fast food, sodas, heavily processed foods, and trans fat from their diets. Telling someone who eats Pop-Tarts for breakfast, fast food for lunch, snacks on candy bars, and drinks sodas all day is going to get incredibly confused if you tell them to not eat fruit. My clients, and the majority of people I work with, want to shed body fat, build muscle, improve their health and energy levels, and just want to feel better. I'm not referring to individuals who want to achieve super low levels of body fat and who have already perfected the basics of nutrition, which I will address. I agree that people who want to reach incredible leanness may want to experiment with limiting fruit intake. However, it's not necessary for everyone to do so because I know a lot of individuals who can achieve and maintain single-digit body fat or low to mid-teen body fat who eat fruit on a regular basis. And by the way, those who can achieve and maintain single-digit body fat would be men, and those who can keep their body fat within the low to mid-teens would be women. So here's the bottom line concerning fruit. If you want to look better in a swimsuit and improve your health and performance, then feel free to eat a couple of pieces of fresh fruit each day. As long as you're following the basics of nutrition, you will not gain body fat from including fruit in your diet. Nutrition basics. If people focused on eating real, high-quality natural foods like grass-fed meats, free-range poultry and eggs, wild-caught fish, fresh fruits and veggies, and listening to their bodies, like eating when hungry and stopping when satisfied, and consumed plenty of water each day, they would build the strong, healthy, lean body they desired. Apply those basics of nutrition for a minimum of 1 year. Follow them at least 90% of the time, and be honest with yourself. If, after mastering the basics for a year, you still want more advanced information, then send me an email and I'll gladly help you out. If you think you're ready for more complex nutrition methods, then answer this question. Have you mastered the basics? Honestly, have you? Why do you want additional information? Just like a beginner strength trainee will not get better results from an advanced program, you won't get great results from complicated nutrition methods if you haven't mastered the basics. And why would you want something that's complicated if you can get the same results with simple methods? My challenge to you is this: eat natural, whole, unprocessed foods that are in their natural state and meat that comes from animals raised in their natural environments. This means grass-fed meats, grass-fed dairy, if you could tolerate it or even want to include it, free-range poultry and eggs, wild-caught fish, and fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat those foods at least 90% of the time, and then report back to me in 1 year. Is that advice sexy or even complicated? Nope. And that's a main reason people shrug it off as useless or too basic. But I guarantee it works. They are the same guidelines I provide for my clients, and not once has someone needed anything more complicated than that to achieve their fat loss and performance goals. Additional random tips. 1. Know what makes you feel best and what works for you. Perhaps you would enjoy a form of intermittent fasting, or maybe you prefer to eat 4 to 5 smaller meals each day. Experiment a little and see what works for you. 2. Don't exclude foods entirely from your diet. The exception is if you have an allergy to a food or a certain food group, or eating a certain food causes you to feel lousy. If you love ice cream and proclaim, "I'm never going to eat ice cream again," what will you always want to eat and constantly think about? And 3, I truly don't care if you're vegan, vegetarian, paleo, gluten-free, or an intermittent faster, or any other possible term used to describe your eating preference. Are you improving your health and building the body you want with that method? I truly hope so, because that is what I care about. I want you to get from point A to point B in a healthy way that is sustainable and works for you. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled Nutrition Triggers and Tips by Nia Shanks of niashanks.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.
Dr. Neal here for my commentary. Let's go back to the fruit debate, and I'll cut to the chase. I agree with Nia that eating 2 to 3 whole fruits each day is a good thing. I get concerned when people get more than 3 servings of fruit a day because usually that extra fruit is in the form of juices, or that extra fruit is taking the place of vegetables in their diets. So it's not really to me about fat loss or fat gain. Instead, it's where's that fruit coming from, and if we're getting too much of it, what's it replacing in the diet? So my usual recommendation for most people is to aim for 3 servings of green, orange, or red vegetables and 2 servings of whole fruit each day. And if we think about it, 3 servings of vegetables plus 2 servings of fruit equals 5 combined servings of fruit and vegetables each day, which meets the dietary guidelines. So, what would 1 serving of a fruit or vegetable actually look like? Well, let's start with fruit. Imagine a round piece of fruit, like an apple, orange, peach, or nectarine. If that round piece of fruit is about the size of your fist, and you ate the whole thing, it would count as 1 fruit serving. Now, when it comes to vegetables, the same rule actually applies here. Imagine some raw romaine lettuce or spinach. An amount about the size of your fist would be about 1 serving. Now, let's say you cooked that spinach. Then an amount about half the size of your fist would count as 1 serving. See, just as today's author Nia said, nutrition doesn't have to be complicated. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening every day. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.